Greetings, friends. Prepare for another thrilling journey as we delve into Reddit's most bizarre tales. We're plunging deep into the quirkiest corners of the web. Grab your popcorn and join us on this adventure. Remember to hit subscribe and like. Let's begin. Hey everyone, I need to get something off my chest, and maybe talking about it here will help me sort through this mess in my head. I recently went to my high school reunion, and it was like something straight out of a movie. Seriously, the whole night felt surreal. Let me give you a little background. Back in high school, I was the quiet, troubled, nerdy kid who smoked a lot of weed and didn't really fit in. I wasn't popular by any stretch of the imagination, and I certainly wasn't someone the girls noticed. So fast forward to this reunion. I'm in much better shape now. I've been working out a lot, trying to take care of myself, and it seems to have paid off. A bunch of the women from high school were super flirty, telling me I had a huge glow up. I couldn't believe it. I felt like I had stepped into an alternate reality where I was the guy everyone wanted to talk to. It was amazing and a little overwhelming, but in a good way. But here's where it gets complicated. I've been with my girlfriend for 7 years now. We've had a lot of ups and downs, especially when it comes to intimacy. We're practically like a married couple at this point, but there's this distance between us. At the reunion, she was there with me, but she spent most of the night hiding away with my friend's wife. She didn't know many people there, so I get why she felt uncomfortable. Still, it felt like she was pulling away from me, even more than usual. And then, I met this woman. Let's call her Marissa. She's stunning, like someone out of a dream. While a lot of the women at the reunion were flirty, Marissa was on another level. We started talking, and it was like we clicked instantly. She told me about how she used to smoke weed back in school, too, and how everyone thought she was this perfect preppy cheerleader, but she was actually just as down-to-earth as I was. The conversation flowed effortlessly, and I found myself drawn to her in a way I haven't felt in years. As the night went on, the reunion moved to a bar that we used to hang out at in high school. Marissa, along with a few of the other women, invited me and my best friend to join them. Now I usually hate that bar, but I agreed to go in a heartbeat. When we got there, things got even stranger, in a good way. My girlfriend and Marissa hit it off and started talking like they'd known each other for years. Meanwhile, I couldn't help but notice how Marissa kept trying to get closer to me. The more we talked, the more I realized I didn't want the night to end. And then, at one point, I caught Marissa looking at me in a way that sent chills down my spine. It was a look that said she saw me, really saw me in a way I hadn't been seen in almost a decade. It was like being noticed for the first time in forever. Eventually, I couldn't resist anymore. I was completely drawn to her, and it seemed like she felt the same way. At one point, she asked for my Instagram, and when she saw my workout pictures, the look on her face was something else. My girlfriend's friend noticed, and she wasn't impressed, but I couldn't have cared less at that moment. The next day, I couldn't stop thinking about Marissa. I ended up messaging her, asking if she wanted to hang out. We decided to meet up, and I felt like a teenager all over again. I went to visit my dad, and then Marissa and I met up at a park. We walked and talked for what felt like hours. The connection between us was undeniable, and it was the most natural thing in the world. Before I knew it, we were making out in this beautiful, secluded spot in the woods. It felt magical, like something out of a dream. At one point, a group of deer ran by, startling us both, but it only added to the surreal feeling of the moment. We left the park when it got too dark, but we didn't want the night to end, so we continued our romance in her car. I told her I hadn't been kissed like that in almost 10 years, and she responded by saying, "This is how you deserve to be kissed." Those words made my heart melt. Here's the kicker. Marissa lives in North Carolina, which is pretty far from where I am. She couldn't stay, and I don't know when I'll see her again. But the reason I'm writing this is because of how I felt when I woke up in the middle of the night afterward. I was crying, not because I cheated on my girlfriend, but because I realized that I've never felt this way with her, and I don't think I ever will. My girlfriend and I are like best friends, but we're terrible lovers. She doesn't want to be touched, and she only wants to have sex with me when she's drunk. It's made me incredibly insecure about my appearance, which is why I started working out so much and trying to be as handsome as possible. But with Marissa, I felt appreciated and seen for the first time in almost 9 years, even though I've been with my girlfriend for 7. I'm torn because I want to leave my girlfriend. I want to be happy and to feel wanted and appreciated. But I don't know if Marissa is the answer because she has her own life, and she's in a relationship herself. Yet I can't stop thinking about her. I know that passion and lust can be mistaken for love, but I feel so deeply for this woman that it's driving me crazy. Having money and all the material things in life can't compare to actually being loved the way I feel I should be, the way Marissa made me feel. I feel awful. I know I should leave my current situation, but I have nothing to fall back on. The economy has left me broke and without a car, so even escaping feels impossible. I need to change my life and be on my own, but I'm conflicted because of the love and care I still feel for my girlfriend, even if she doesn't make me feel the same way. It's wrong, and it's so hard to do what's right for both of us. I spent the next few days in a haze, trying to sort through the tangled mess of emotions in my head. My girlfriend seemed to sense that something was off, but I couldn't bring myself to tell her what had happened with Marissa. I didn't want to hurt her, but at the same time, I knew I couldn't keep living like this. One night, I finally broke down and told my best friend everything. I needed someone to talk to, someone who could help me make sense of it all. He listened patiently as I poured my heart out, and when I was done, he just shook his head. "Man, you're in a tough spot," he said, "but you need to figure out what you really want. If you're not happy with your girlfriend, you owe it to both of you to be honest about it." He was right, of course, but that didn't make it any easier. I knew I needed to talk to my girlfriend, but the thought of hurting her was unbearable. She had been my rock for so long, and the idea of leaving her felt like tearing my own heart out. But I also couldn't stop thinking about Marissa. The way she made me feel was something I hadn't experienced in years, and the more I thought about it, the more I realized that I couldn't go back to the way things were before. I needed to feel that connection, that spark, that excitement again. The next day, I decided to talk to my girlfriend. I knew it was going to be one of the hardest conversations of my life, but I couldn't keep living in this limbo. I needed to be honest with her, even if it meant ending our relationship. We sat down in the living room, and I could tell she knew something was up. I took a deep breath and started to speak. "Listen, there's something I need to talk to you about," I began, my voice trembling slightly. "I've been doing a lot of thinking, and I realize that I'm not happy. I don't want to hurt you, but I can't keep pretending that everything is okay." She looked at me, her eyes filled with confusion and hurt. "What do you mean? Are you saying you want to break up?" I nodded slowly, tears welling up in my eyes. "I don't want to, but I think it's the best thing for both of us. We've been together for so long, but I don't think we're making each other happy anymore. I care about you so much, but I need something more, and I think you do too." She was silent for a moment, and then the tears started to fall. "I can't believe this," she whispered. "After everything we've been through, you're just going to leave." "It's not about leaving," I said, struggling to find the right words. "It's about doing what's right for both of us. I don't want to stay in a relationship where we're both unhappy. You deserve someone who can give you what you need, and I need to find that for myself too." She wiped her tears away angrily. "And what about Marissa? Is that what this is all about?" I hesitated, not wanting to hurt her more than I already had. "Marissa is just part of it," I admitted. "She made me realize that I'm not happy with where I am. But this is about more than just her. It's about us." She didn't say anything else, and after a few minutes of silence, she got up and walked out of the room. I knew I had shattered her world, and the guilt was almost too much to bear. But deep down, I knew I had done the right thing. We couldn't keep pretending that everything was okay when it wasn't. In the days that followed, I felt a strange mix of relief and sorrow. I had lost someone who had been a huge part of my life for so long, but I also felt like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders. I was finally free to pursue the kind of happiness I had been longing for. Marissa and I kept in touch, but things were complicated. She was still in a relationship, and the distance between us made it hard to see where things could go. But I knew one thing for sure. I wasn't going to settle for anything less than what I deserved. I had spent too long in a relationship that wasn't fulfilling, and I wasn't going to make that mistake again. I'm still trying to figure things out, but for the first time in a long time, I feel hopeful about the future. I don't know what's going to happen with Marissa, but I know that I'm on the right path. It's not easy, and there are days when I question everything, but I'm determined to find the happiness and connection that I've been missing. If there's one thing I've learned from all of this, it's that you can't settle in life. You have to go after what you want, even if it means making some tough choices along the way. Life is too short to live in a way that doesn't make you happy, and I'm finally ready to start living for myself.